How's it going, you sexy beasticles? It's time for another Fan-Picked Friday Challenge! This is a series where you and your armchair general mentality can suggest any type of loadout for me to run with in PlanetSide 2 and see just how terribly I perform, or just see how well I get my butt whooped. Last week's episode was the Little Timmy loadout by Smitty's86, which featured the Ghost Sniper Rifle available to the Vanu Sovereignty. If you wish to make a suggestion for next week's episode, go ahead and leave a comment in the section below, and I'll choose one of the most top voted comments to use in next week's Fan-Picked Friday Challenge. Today's challenge is kind of a piggyback off of last week's, but in a rather neat way. It's titled the Not So Little Timmy loadout by Steve V, which he states, after completely sorting out his infiltrator loadout, Timmy got bored and decided to give the heavy assault a try because the idea of sniping at tanks with the Lancer is even cooler than being invisible. Then he found out that the Eidolon has no bullet drop and it was all over but the crying. Faction Vanu Sovereignty. Class Heavy Assault. Primary Eidolon VE-33 with the optic and barrel attachment of your choice, high velocity ammunition, and a laser sight. Secondary of your choice, but slap a flashlight on it. Even with his new overshield, Timmy's still afraid of ghosts. Launcher is the Lancer VS-22 with the resist shield ability since it recharges faster than the nanite mesh generator. Suit Advanced Shield Capacitor because Timmy doesn't like waiting for his shields to come back up. Grenade and utility item of your choice. Thank you for this very awesome loadout, Steve V, and I especially love how you continued the story of Smitty86's Little Timmy. First and foremost, I'll have to apologize if this wasn't the exact loadout you suggested, as I'm doing a little bit of character shift arounds and made a new Vanu Sovereignty character on Connery to get the best gameplay. So a few clips will have the correct loadout as I used my Matherson character, but it's really difficult to get a well-populated fight going on there, so a few of the clips will be of my low-level Connery character. But I opted for no barrel attachment on the Eidolon, as none really benefited very well, and ran with anti-vehicle grenades and medical kits for my utility slot. My secondary weapon is the Manticore, since it's pretty much a Vanu Sovereignty mag shot. These are typically what I run with, as they act exactly the same as a standard fragmentation grenade with the anti-vehicle grenades, but deal additional damage to those pesky max units. As for the Eidolon battle rifle itself, the Terran Republic and New Conglomerate versions are the AMR-66 and the Warden respectively. All in all, these have got to be the worst guns in the game. So there's a heads up before I say anything else. As Stevie stated, it was all over, except for me crying. What Vanu heresy is thrown together to construct the Eidolon? Well, it deals 250 damage maximum up to 8 meters, then falls off to 225 damage minimum at 75 meters. It fires at 333 rounds per minute, has a 20 round magazine, 100 rounds in the reserve, a short reload speed of 2.5 seconds, and a long reload speed of 3.4 seconds. Recoil is a pretty nasty 0.4 vertical degrees per shot, but it's not really noticeable since the recoil resets near instantly after every shot. The muzzle velocity of 570 meters per second, which we increase even further with the high velocity ammo, but it's still a snail's pace considering the overall weakness of this weapon. This loadout was a big ol' slap in the face to me considering how comfortable I am both with fully automatic weaponry and the nanite mesh generator. The resist shield is very neat, but comes with a completely different playstyle than the typical overshields. Being an all grown up Timmy made me extra precautious, as I would hit the resist shield as I round a corner or when popping in and out of cover. Typically I only use the overshields as a reactionary defense instead of a precautionary action. I especially love the fact that the Vanu Sovereignty are the only faction where the resist shield is a completely different color than the nanite mesh or adrenaline shields. Everybody loves purple, right? It's so much more hip and young and funkin' fresh than mean old green. In regards to mean and green, the Lancer has got to be my favorite Empire-specific rocket launcher. It feels so meaty when you land a triple charge shot onto a harasser and see it explodicate into a bajillion colors of death, destruction, and juicy experience points. Not to mention, it's very easy to use as both an anti-vehicle and anti-air launcher, as the projectile velocity is 600 meters per second, which is even faster than the projectiles we're firing from our frickin' battle rifle. So why am I still crying about the loadout? Well, it's because I feel as if battle rifles are very underwhelming in a game where rate of fire reigns king. At medium ranges, I was getting outshot by the likes of default Track 5 carbines, or even the new conglomerate's GD7F, where my weapon should be absolute beast. It's a 4-hit kill only out at 8 meters, but then quickly falls off to a 5-hit kill at anything beyond. If an enemy has 1 rank of nanoweave armor, then you have to contend with a 6-hit kill and potentially a 7-hit kill at maximum range if they're running with a maximum rank nanoweave armor. That is terrible considering you're going up against weapons with 2 times the rate of fire or more, and then only needing 2 more bullets to take you down. Regardless, being a grown-up Timmy was pretty fun. It sort of lacked the finesse that the bolt-action sniper rifle requires back in our younger days, but the Eidolon still requires a bit of headhunting in order to win toe-to-toe firefights. Starting off, my kill-to-death ratio was a pretty mediocre 2.9, but I was able to sustain it at nearly a 4.0 when I relearned how to use the resist shield alongside my gimped battle rifle. So, what would I suggest if you wanted to run this loadout as a super try-hard MLG YOLO Swag 420 setup? Well, you could potentially slap on a compensator for the barrel, a forward grip for your rail slot, and a suppressor and laser sight for your sidearm. The advanced shield capacitor feels very wonky since I'm typically a flak armor or nanoweave noob, but it meshes very well with the resist shield as you can poke and prod very easily against your opponents. There you have it, you sexy beast, the not-so-little Timmy loadout by Steve V, featuring the Eidolon battle rifle for the Vanu Sovereignty. Hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a mega super awesome badass thumbs up. If you have an idea in your head for a sweet ass challenge you want me to run with in next week's episode, go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. Make sure to include any items, weapons, attachments, skills, factions, classes, or whatever else you can imagine, and I'll choose one of the most top voted comments to use in next week's fan-picked Friday challenge. I hope you guys have a freaking awesome beginning to your weekend. If you haven't subscribed already, what's stopping you? Go ahead and click that subscribe button. It is 100% absolutely FDA approved free.